Tapping out the sentence. Cis characters max, keeping the tone casual, avoiding the emotional tax. Hue up, simple inquiry, the classic opening line. It means everything and nothing, perfect design. Waiting for the ellipsis, the three little dots on the screen. A silent power struggle, a momentary cold scene.
Red receipt turned off, I watch the message sit and breathe. Calculating the perfect delay to feeling I wanna leave. Too fast means interest, too slow means I don't care. I found the ideal apathy, a specific cool despair. The screen's a barrier, a filter for the raw honest plea. This is how we communicate now, digital, sterile and free.
Just chillin', you.
I erase and retype it 4 times.
Busy or clean, single syllable, committing no crime.
The tension lives in the space between the blue and the gray. The unwritten context of everything we fail to say.
Late night text, the digital dangerous game. Calling out a name without ever speaking a name. We're close enough to trigger but too far to connect. Communicating in code, showing absolute respect for the boundaries we built, the walls we won't let down. Just two cool shadows moving in this silent town.
I see you typing, the dots appear then they suddenly fade. Another sentence self-destructed, another cool choice made. I respect the control, I admire the discipline in your tone. We're both masters of the distance, perfectly alone. It's a strange kind of intimacy, this exchange of the terse, knowing that a single emoji could easily reverse.
I send the bare minimum, the perfectly ambiguous sign. A cold response that leaves all the power entirely mine. I won't give you the leverage of my honest full reply. I'll let the question hang under the South R&B sky. We crave the feeling but we settle for the hint. A quick, sharp, sterile meeting without leaving a print.
Every single window is a mirror to a soul that's getting thinner. In this ruthless game, you're either the victor or the beginner. My heart is a concrete heart, reinforced with steel and doubt. And the city demands silence, never letting the feeling out. We try to build a sanctuary in this noise and this gray, but the pressure of this pavement wears the best of us away.
I see the hairline fracture, the tiny human crack in the flawless facade you keep. There is no turning back.
We cling to the control, we worship the cool veneer. But when the lights go out, there is only primal fear. Is it worth this solitude?
This highly curated distance,
When all I truly need is a single
necessary change. You talk of power, I talk of torrential in a race. We're standing on the same ledge, breathing the polluted air, trapped by the image, the
followed by complete cold silence.
The air is different up here, thinner and much colder. Watching the frantic movement, we just get older and bolder. 50 stories up, the sirens sound like muted sighs, just miniature tragedies reflected in our silent eyes. You can see the whole map from this high-rise view, and finally understand what you had to walk through. They're chasing something small down there, a temporary fire. We're past that urgency, past the consuming desire. The ground level chaos doesn't reach this elevated space, just a steady, constant drone, a beautiful hypnotic pace. No need to participate, no need to feel the heat. We found our perfect stability in the permanent retreat. The thousands of lights are just static, harmless and far. We're two clean circuits detached from every emotional scar. We share the silence and mutual understanding of the cost of everything we gain for everything we ultimately lost. High-rise view, the pressure's gone, the weight is lifted clean. We found our transcendent coldness in this metallic sheen. We don't need the warmth, just the clarity of the night. Two shadows watching the city from this isolated height. Future R&B beats smooth and perfectly on time. We're past the drama, existing in a permanent sublime. I noticed the pattern, the logic of the light and the flow. It's much easier to analyze when you don't have to go. The old urgency to connect is completely dissolved and gone. Just a long, slow, comfortable waiting for the silent dawn. I'm not empty, just filled with the vastness of the space. A quiet acceptance of my own personal pace. High-rise view, the pressure's gone, the weight is lifted clean. We found our transcendent coldness in this metallic sheen. We don't need the warmth, just the clarity of the night. Two shadows watching the city from this isolated height. Future R&B beats smooth and perfectly on time. We're past the drama, existing in a permanent just the view and the slow, easy breathing.
The city finally stopped breathing. Every sound is now absorbed, just a high-frequency hum of the tension we harbored. We stand here in the middle of a vortex of silence, where every unsaid word gains a brutal, heavy violence. I can feel the pressure of the quiet crushing down on my chest, testing the integrity of the armor I thought was the best. The silence is a weapon, mine is the shield I deployed. But the truth is, in this vacuum, all our efforts are void. The cinematic strings are playing our distant score. the same impossible line. We used the concrete heart to block out the noise and the light, but it amplified the terror of the endless night. There is nowhere to run, the walls are the same, material as us, turning our cool surrender into agonizing trial. Vortex of silence, we are screaming the truth with no audible sound. The volume is internal, shaking the very ground. Keys to the rupture the emotional implosion, caught in the center of the dark, cold ocean. We built this city of apathy, but we can't stand the core. We can't stand the core.
The map is recalculated, the coordinates reset. No more shared directions, no lingering regret. We reach the junction point, the moment of the split. A final detour taken, accepting the cost of it.
The city is quiet now, respecting the silent decree.
We are two travelers, perfectly, finally free. Hand back the memory, a polished silver coin. It was valuable once, but now it serves no purpose to join. You take your half of the silence, I take mine and move on. Our story is a finished book, a cool, perfect swan song.
There's no drama in the leaving, only the clean final click of the lock engaging the feeling no longer quick.
We acknowledge the connection, the brief electric fire.
But the long road requires a higher, colder desire.
To be alone, untethered, unburdened by the dead.
This is the only ending we could ever truly get.
This highest note is the perfect clean sound of leaving. Minimalist epic beat, the silence is our final vow.
We walk away cool, knowing what we have to do now. No tears for the lost time, just the clarity of the space.
We separate with grace
At the ultimate final pace, I watch your taillights fade into the urban gray. A quiet, respectful distance at the break of the day. It's not sadness I feel, it's the smooth texture of release. The controlled ending that finally grants us inner peace. We were never meant to merge, just to cross and understand the lone lace required to thrive in this concrete land.
This highest note is the perfect clean sound of leaving. Minimalist epic beat, the silence played with grace.
At the ultimate final pace. I found a photograph tucked behind the old amplifier. It didn't spark a flame, just the scent of a dying fire. Your smile in the picture is wide, a historical fact, a record of a feeling I can no longer track. I don't feel the pull or the sharp sudden sting, just the full beat of the memory it used to bring. The city's got a million news stories, mine is already filed. I treat the past like a museum piece, carefully compiled. The analog synth is playing a melody from that time. It's just background noise, now a beautiful but irrelevant rhyme. I look at the ghost of yesterday, and I don't flinch or hide. Just a nod to the fact that someone else lived inside. Yesterday, you can walk these floors, you can knock on all my clothes in different doors. I won't let you in, I just let you hover and fade. This unbops me soul is a neutral soundtrack I've made. You're a lesson, not a burden, a shadow, not a threat. The price I paid for the peace I finally get. Still hanging in the far closet. They're just fabric and thread, now nothing to deposit. I wear your old jacket when the night it gets too cool. A purely practical gesture breaking the romantic rule. There's no pain in the cotton, no residue of your heat, just a slow, steady thump of the bass beneath my feet. I close to yesterday. You can walk these floors, you can knock on all my clothes in different doors. I won't let you in, I just let you hover and fade. This commences soul is the neutral soundtrack I made. You're a lesson, not a burden, a shadow, not a threat. The price I paid for the peace I finally get. The vintage filter makes everything look softer, easier to bear. Is how I choose to view the time we used to share. Not with regret, but with a cold, clear acceptance of the end. You were a chapter, darling, not the entire trend. I thank the ghost for the teaching, and I turn my back and leave. No mourning, no fanfare, nothing left to grieve. Just a trace yesterday.
I push the needle past the limit where the warnings start to glow. The only way to outrun the pain is to simply go. Velocity is my religion, speed is my chosen drug. Leaving the slow, heavy feelings buried beneath the rug.
accelerator. Watch the streetlights blur into streaks. There is no past in the future, only the moment that speaks. This is the moment of pure, unadulterated, kinetic will, trying to outrun the reflection that keeps standing still. My vision is tunnel, my grip is hard and precise. I will not look back, whatever the ultimate prize. Velocity! I'm moving too fast for the slow, agonizing reality. The future pop baseline is a physical pounding threat that I have not surrendered, I have not finished yet. This highest note is the force of the engine's primal roar, demanding more speed, demanding so much more. The windows are down, letting the cold air lash my face. A sensory overload to take me out of this desolate space. I passed the markers of our history, they're just fleeting signs. Nothing solid, just ghost lights blurring the straight lines. I don't need a destination, the journey is the only prize. Escaping the gravity of your controlling light. Velocity! I'm moving too fast for the slow, agonizing reality. The future pop baseline is a physical pounding threat. I have not surrendered, I have not finished yet. This highest note is the force of the engine's primal roar, demanding more speed, demanding so much more. I'm running the red light of caution, ignoring the alarms. I'd rather crash and burn than return to your indifferent arms. The city is a blur now, a canvas of pure frantic need. Planting the flag of my own accelerating creed. Accelerated. Faster, never stop, go.
I'm not asking for your history, don't need the heavy weight, just the light touch of your presence before it gets too late. We can share the silence between the streetlights, gentle blur, a temporary truce where nothing is required or pure. This connection is fragile, like the steam from a cooling cup. Keep your confessions locked, keep the past where it belongs. We deal only in the present, ignoring emotional wrongs. I can give you my attention, a quiet, focused stare, but don't mistake the stillness for a feeling I can share. It's a brief alignment of two distant orbiting forces. No grand promise, no change in our predetermined courses. Just a moment, that's the only ticket I sell tonight. A perfect fleeting flicker in the Andean fading light. The ambient soul drifts, refusing to land or a stick. We exchange a look, a truth perfectly quick. No after hours commitment, no need for a deep dive. The only way this kind of purity can survive. Your breathing matches mine, a slow, gentle, mutual pace. the only honest thing happening in this constructed space. I close my eyes for a second, enjoying the smooth, clean sound of our two separate worlds touching without hitting the ground. I don't need your love, I don't need the emotional cost. I just need the confirmation that the feeling isn't entirely lost. Just a moment, that's the only ticket I sell tonight. A perfect fleeting flicker in the Andean fading light. The ambient soul drifts, refusing to land or stick. We exchange a look, a truth perfectly quick. No after hours commitment, no need for a deep dive. The only way this kind of purity can survive. The music becomes incredibly minimal, focusing on the spacious, sustained synth pads. The vocal is high, pure, and sustained for a long breath. I allow the fragility, the subtle, vulnerable hint before I pull the plug and erase the footprint. A small, quiet rebellion against the overwhelming cool. A necessary sip from the emotional, forbidden pool.
I've learned to adjust the brightness, sharpen the edges, blur the cause. The city looks better when the raw truth is completely lost. This is the filtered view applied to the chaos below. Everything ugly is muted, everything sharp starts to glow. The air is still cold, but the neo-soul is warm in my ears. Perfect harmony, overriding all the residual fears. I put a soft focus on the damage, a gentle vignette on the pain, refusing to acknowledge the storm and joy in the manufactured rain. It's not denial, it's curation, a conscious, careful choice to only listen to the most pleasant parts of my own voice. I watch the street cleaners polishing the pavement clean, mirroring the way I polish the memory of the scene. The filtered view, a high definition lie. I believe it's the only way to exist and not have to grieve. The brass section swells, adding dignity to the ache I take, the sharp reality, and for my comfort I break. This is the modern survival, controlled and perfectly serene, living life through a self-imposed aesthetic screen. The buildings are canvases bathed in a perpetual sunset hue. I dismiss the cracks in the foundation, they don't apply to the new. I only see the sleek lines, the geometric perfection of the plan, ignoring the desperation that hides beneath every man. I'm a connoisseur of the surface, a master of the smooth veneer, keeping the emotional core safely isolated and clear. The filtered you, a high definition lie. I believe it's the only way to exist and not have to grieve. The brass section swells, adding dignity to the ache I take, the sharp reality, and for my comfort I break. This is the modern survival, controlled and perfectly serene, living life through a self-imposed aesthetic screen. Oh, the chord progression shifts, complex and surprisingly deep, a subtle nod to the secrets that the cool surface keeps. But I move past the complexity, simplifying the truth, trading raw honesty for polished, sophisticated youth. This is my sanctuary, the selective observation I choose. Only vote with his biographies and the loose, so clean, so smooth, filtered in, so smooth.
Staring at the sign across the street, blue neon heart flickers on and off, tearing my composure apart. It's a cheap electric symbol, but it holds the truest key to the temperature of this feeling that lives inside of me. I used to think that warmth was a necessary fuel. Now I embrace the fluorescence, brutally cool. Oh yeah. The synth loop is a permanent echo in my vacant space, a circular hypnotic rhythm that dictates the pace. I'm caught in the pattern, I can't look away from the shine. That cold, beautiful luminescence, perfectly defined. I'm not searching for connection, I'm searching for the code to handle this loneliness, carrying the heavy load. Blue neon heart, you pulse with a steady, distant gleam, trapped in the reflection of a purely synthetic dream. I'm a moth to the light, but I love the way it burns so cold. A story of modern isolation, perfect hold. R&B beat, heavy and deep, pulling me down low. The only place left for the feelings that refuse to grow. The glass is dividing the city into perfect clean squares. I see the life, the passion, but none of it compares to the quiet, addictive rhythm of the 808, sealing my existence behind the emotional gate. I could reach out, I could call, I could break the line, but the aesthetic of the solitude is simply too divine. Blue neon heart, you pulse with a steady, distant gleam, trapped in the reflection of a purely synthetic dream. I'm a moth to the light, but I love the way it burns so cold. The story of modern isolation, perfect lap, R&B beat, heavy and deep, pulling me down low. The only place left for the feelings that refuse to grow.
contract's unsigned. The exit route is locked and clean. I've already calculated the cost of this entire scene. You thought I'd hesitate, watch the last moment blur, but my decision's a deadline. There is no appeal, no juror. Every step is forward, every reflection is minimized. This path is digital, clear and perfectly sanitized. The conversation's done, the verdict's been delivered fast. No more small talk, no more late night pleading in the past. I packed up the weakness labeled in non-essential ways. It's an upgrade, darling, you simply couldn't keep the pace. The beat is accelerating, matching the speed of my will. Standing firm on the promise I will not stand still. No turning back. This highest key is the sound of the final decisive attack. I'm driving through the silence, shattering the rearview glass. The moment for sentiment has permanently passed. Trap soul on repeat, this rhythm is my new law. You see the surrender, I see the absolute withdrawal. You keep reaching for a hand that is no longer there. Just a cool, empty space in the metropolitan air. I'm a self-contained system, no external input required. The only emotion left is the energy I acquired from the lesson, from the failure. From the moment of the snap, I seal the vault shut, and there is no map, no turning back. This highest key is the sound of the final decisive attack. I'm driving through the silence, shattering the rearview glass. The moment for sentiment has permanently passed. Trap soul on repeat, this rhythm is my new law. You see the surrender, I see the absolute withdrawal. You can try to call it loss, I call it finality. This is not defeat, it's just the new reality.
Who's turning back? Who's turning back?
The music suddenly drops out, leaving only a final resonant 808 bass boom that quickly fades.
Who's turning back?
Oh, oh,
Who's turning back?
The filter is breaking, I can hear the metallic screech. The silence I mastered is now beyond my reach. Every light in the city is a witness to the final fall. But I won't let the water run, I will not let it all sprawl. These aren't soft failures, these are chrome tears running high. Acid on the armor, burning the very spine. The pressure is building, the internal gauge is red. I'm pushing past the limit of everything that I once said. You wanted the feeling, well here is the automated stream. A purely industrial response to a faded, fragile dream. I'm running on emergency power, the defense mechanism is life. Just enough force to ensure that I survive. Chrome tears, a final high-pitched scream that nobody ever hears. Our sound is pounding, a hammer on the shell. I built this prison, can't escape the cell. This highest key is a cracking sound, the shattering glass letting out the pressurized feeling that was built to last. They taught me to compartmentalize, to keep the sections dry, to file the pain away beneath the cool steel sky. But the rust sets in, the gears grind, the system starts to fail. The mechanical process of grief is beyond the pale. I feel the static surge, the distorted, painful hum, the realization that the end of indifference is finally come. cracking sound, the shattering glass, letting out the pressurized feeling that was built to last. I want the silence back, the cold, smooth, empty space. But the melody is frantic, screaming in this urban race. I try to be the perfect machine, immune to the human flaw, but even metal succumbs to the final fatal law. The distortion is a cry, a pure unedited sound, as the last defenses crash and shatter on the core.
The glass reflects back a stranger I almost know. Perfect posture, perfect distance, a meticulous show. My own analyst, watching every controlled side. This reflection is a trap and I'm too smart to fly. I built this cage of composure, bar by emotional bar, knowing exactly how cold and how beautiful you are. Dropping my pulse, every beat a calculator is answering my own impulse. I'm running scenarios, not feelings, testing the stress. How long can the indifference hold before the walls start to press? I look deeper into the pain, seeking the flaw, but the structure is flawless, perfectly adhering to the law. With flashing with flashing I'm caught in the light of my own ruthless mind's glare. Future bass is pounding, the rhythm is a warning sign. This cool exterior is perfectly devastatingly mine. I won't break for you, I won't shatter for the cause. This highest note is the proof, nothing is truly lost. You thought I was numb, but numb is just a form of control, a selective anesthesia for the damage to the soul. I track the scars from a safe academic view. The fascinating texture's nothing I need to undo. The spotlight hits hard, exposing every calculated move. This is not weakness, darling, this is a refined groove. Reflection I'm caught in the light of my own ruthless mind's glare. Future bass is pounding, the rhythm is a warning sign. This cool exterior is perfectly devastatingly mine. I won't break for you, I won't shatter for the cost. This highest note is the proof, nothing is truly lost. The silence between the senses, the most dangerous space, where the self-analysis dictates the tempo and the pace. I'm perfectly alone, yeah, perfectly observed by me, the only judge, the only jury, finally free. I dismantle the affection piece by precise piece, granting my own heart a permanent cold release. only baggage I'm carrying is the knowledge of the past. Everything else is disposable, nothing built to last. I booked a reservation under a different name, starting the next chapter, ending the old tired game. No return date, no open possibility of a doubt. This is the ultimate clean cut, final fade out. The trip I beat is the rhythm on my slow walk away. It drags just enough to make me appreciate the decay. I feel the static in the air, the coldness of the choice, but there's a quiet freedom in using my own voice to state the final term. Finality is the new piece. I signed the document of solitude, granting my own release. One-way ticket, destination anywhere but here. Leaving the weight of the history, erasing the fear. This dark R&B is a soundtrack to my sharp exit. No looking back, the bridge is burning, perfectly perfect. I'm choosing the empty space, the vast clear. Unknown, stepping onto the platform, standing completely alone. I change the locks on the old desire, threw the keys into the night, watching them sink into the abyss of the city light. Every step is a mile, every mile is a calculated space, putting distance between my future and this desperate place. I don't need closure from you, I gave it to myself instead, reading the final sentence that was written in my head. One-way ticket, destination anywhere but here. Leaving the weight of the history, erasing the fear. This dark R&B is a soundtrack to my sharp exit. No looking back, the bridge is burning, perfectly perfect. I'm choosing the empty space, the vast clear. Unknown, stepping onto the platform, standing completely alone. The train is pulling in, a long mechanical sigh. I'm watching the reflection of the indifferent city sky. The delay effect on my voice is the only echo loud, a solitary sound waving the anonymous crowd. This isn't sadness, it's the cold, clear logic of the tide, pulling back from the shore where the mistakes used to hide. One way, no return destination. Solo, the sound of a solo. One way, no return destination. Solo, the sound of a solo. The phone is face down, the volume set to 0. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's my chosen hero. I sit in the deep shadow, where the city can intrude, mastering the art of controlled silence, my preferred attitude. Every breath is measured, every blink is a conscious delay, keeping the frantic energy of the outside world at bay. I can hear the thoughts screaming, the anxiety and the wires, but I wrap myself in the stillness, extinguishing all the fires. The subsonic bass is the only pulse I permit inside, a low steady hum where all the sharp feelings can't hide. I am a vacuum, absorbing the chaos, making it null, choosing the peace of the empty, the beautifully dull. Controlled silence, the most powerful thing I own tonight. A white flag of surrender to the overwhelming dark light. My voice is low and smooth, a whisper against the drum, refusing to give him the urgency of where I've come from. I am the stillness in the center of the frantic urban storm, keep my internal forecast perfectly uniform. They keep sending the text, they keep trying to break the spell, but the answer they seek is hidden in the quietest cell. I'm building a sanctuary out of the absence of sound, where the desperation of the outside world can't be found. I choose the echo of my own heartbeat over your loud decree, finding the ultimate solace in the quiet mystery. Controlled silence, stretches, magnifying the distance I've made. A necessary spacious gap that will not be betrayed. This quiet is not weakness, it's the ultimate sharp defense, the complete and total lack of emotional reference. I am the blank page, refusing to write the predictable line, letting the chaos of the world collapse beautifully mine. Oh, quiet, still, silence. The room is full of high and static and expensive lights. Everyone wearing the uniform, reflecting the city skies. My black tie is perfectly straight, every knot is secure, a visual guarantee that my composure will endure. I move through the crowd, acknowledging the necessary few, but the focus is inward, keeping the hidden feelings true. The jazz piano plays a melody I can almost feel, but the rhythm is complex, too intricate to heal. I maintain the required distance, a comfortable measured space, a polite nod that doesn't acknowledge the human race. I raise the glass, a toast to the architecture of the cold, a necessary discipline, a story beautifully controlled. Black tie, cold eyes, that's the only armor I wear tonight. Moving like a shadow in the crystal chandelier light. I see the desperation, I ignore the subtle plea, focusing on the quiet perfection of the man I choose to be. This smooth groove is the soundtrack to my perfect self-control, a calculated effort to protect the exposed part of the soul. They think the smile is genuine, they mistake the easy charm for a capacity to feel, to do any kind of harm. But the gaze is a camera recording, not engaging the scene, calculating the risk of being something I haven't been. The whispers are harmless, the flattery is null and void. I'm running a diagnostic, completely unemployable. Black tie, cold eyes, that's the only armor I wear tonight. Moving like a shadow in the crystal chandelier light. I see the desperation, I ignore the subtle plea, focusing on the quiet perfection of the man I choose to be. This smooth groove is the soundtrack to my perfect self-control, a calculated effort to protect the exposed part of the soul. The sex solo is frantic, a burst of raw internal heat, the only allowed expression of the feelings I won't meet. I watch the musician acknowledging the necessary chaos, but I stay still, a monument to the perfect stasis. It's just for show, this performance of sophisticated chill, holding the line, knowing that my will is stronger still. Control.
energy would shrink the space between. But it built the highest wall that I have ever seen. I see 1,000 faces, but none of them are truly here. Just avatars and echoes confirming my deepest fear. I speak in acronyms, I communicate in code. Efficient, sterilized, and perfectly on the road. Digital rain falling on the fiber optic lines, washing the city clean of anything that genuinely shines. My heart is an arrow set to do not disturb mode, carrying a silent, invisible, isolating load. I'm a perfectly calibrated sensor registering the cold, a modern ghost in the machine, a story left untold. Listen to the glitch on the sound, a sudden sharp skip. That's the only sound of honesty that escapes from my lip. A brief malfunction, a moment of an element decay before the system reboots and everything goes back to gray. I am a perfect product of this sterile urgent age, trapped in the reflection of my own digital cage. The streetlights wear a filter of red tonight, casting a velvet shadow, thick and just right. I move slow, letting the rhythm drag my feet. Every step a promise, dangerously sweet. This air is heavy, I can feel the gaze, but I'm not here for attention, I'm here for the maze. I walk the line of desire, perfectly steady, perfectly low. No need to rush the moment, the tension is the key. Let it build in the space between you and me. I speak in whispers, let the bass drum do the rest. Testing your control, putting your coldness to the test. You think you're immune, you think you shut the feeling down, but this low frequency groove can still run through this town. Velvet shadows sinking into the sound. This is the one place where vulnerability isn't found. My voice is deep and low, pulling you into the stream. A slow, intoxicating metro ride and dream. The neon is fire, but I am the smoke, cool and serene. The most dangerous thing you've ever seen. Your zero motion only makes the game much more fun. A challenge accepted before the night is done. I won't shatter your composure, I'll just gently bend the frame. A single glance is a spark, setting fire to the quiet flame. My touch is electric, a static shock on your clean slate. You can try to rationalize, but it's already too late. Velvet shadows sinking into the sound. This is the one place where vulnerability isn't found. My voice is deep and low, pulling you into the stream. A slow, intoxicating metro written dream. The neon is fire, but I am the smoke, cool and serene. The most dangerous thing you've ever seen. Let the syrupy scent wash over us like the night rain, or
me, darling. A natural pull to the dark, a cool exchange, leaving no permanent mark. Only here, velvet. Only here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. Yeah, yeah, da 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 da. Oh, yeah. The temperature of my skin is perfect. I don't need your heat. Found my own rhythm to syncopated Afrobeat. They said I was wounded, they said I was incomplete. Yeah, but look at the evidence, my victory is totally sweet. I shed the skin of your expectations, it just weighed me down. I am the coolest thing moving in this sophisticated town, yeah, yeah. The bass line is pumping, the percussion is sharp and clear. I'm dancing through the memories, erasing every single fear. You can't touch this frequency, it's calibrated just for me. This feeling is organic, wild, and suddenly free. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The drama is dead, the chaos is over. The verdict is final and bold. The hardest truth is that my hands will never feel cold. Unbothered, the only way to win is to simply not care about the world. Unbothered, Afrobeat driving the movement, a hypnotic confidence sway. I threw away the anchor and I sailed away. This highest note is the sound of pure, unadulterated release. Living life on my own terms, finding my ultimate peace. My phone's on silent, notifications set to the void. Every attempt to contact me is simply null and destroyed. I look at the headlines, the desperate search for the next big thing, but I'm already the story, the song that the whole city sings. I'm perfectly self-sufficient, a queen on her own throne. I don't need a partner, I'm better off completely alone. I'm bothered, I ain't ready to win, is to simply not care about the world. I'm bothered, Afrobeat driving the movement, a hypnotic confidence sway. I threw away the anchor and I sailed away. This highest note is the sound of pure, unadulterated release. Living life on my own terms, finding my ultimate peace.
Small burning stars, each city light a flicker of a life behind those cold bars. I stand here a quiet spectator, watching the scene unfold. Another storyboard, another narrative sold. I feel the solitude not as a burden, but as a space, a comfortable, necessary lack of human embrace. Just a momentary disturbance that I don't need to speak. My world is insulated, wrapped in a blanket of sound, where the real messy feelings can never be found. I enjoy the spectacle of life, the performance down below, but I keep my perspective elevated, letting the drama go. City lights and solitude, a perfect elegant mix. The cold glow of the towers, the beautiful quiet fix. My voice is smooth and warm, but the intent is cool and clear. There's no room for desperation, no room for the fear. I found my center in the quiet, anonymous night, choosing a long-term peace over the temporary frantic light. The melodic riff is the only partner I need tonight. A steady, sophisticated comfort, always shining bright. Oh, I'm perfectly alone, yet perfectly observed by the view, finding the ultimate quiet truth in the color blue. No need for a grand gesture, no need for a final word, just the quiet resonance of a soul finally unbothered.
We meet at the corner where the street sign reads decor, discussing the weather, avoiding the emotional quorum. Every word is measured, every comma has its place. A black and white conversation without warmth, without grace. You present your argument logically clean and sound, but the truth is in the subtext, buried deep underground. I trace the rim of my glass, watching your control smile. We can keep this going for a very long while, playing the intellectual game where the stakes are zero. Pretending you're the hero, I'm the perfect cool anti-hero. The syncopated snaps are the only honest rhythm we share. A sharp, quick beat, acknowledging the tension in the air. Black and white conversation, no room for the subtle gray. Just clean, cold logic, keeping the real feelings at bay. My voice is clear and precise, I don't need to raise the volume. Building a temporary shield against the silent call of memories we suppress, the things we refuse to name. Just two intellectual titans playing the detached game. You mentioned progress, I'll mention the inevitable cost. Every carefully chosen phrase is flawlessly tossed. We dissect the failure like two surgeons in a sterile room, ignoring the stench of the decay, predicting the final doom. But the language is flawless, the grammar perfect correct, showing the ultimate high level of emotion disrespect. Black and white conversation, no room for the subtle gray. Just clean, cold logic, keeping the real feelings at bay. My voice is clear and precise, I don't need to raise the volume. Building a temporary shield against the silent call of memories we suppress, the things we refuse to name. Just two intellectual titans playing the detached game. The silence between the thoughts is the loudest, most honest sound, where all the raw, unedited emotions can be found. But we fill it quickly with theory, with critique, with cold facts. Anything to avoid the devastating emotional attacks. We shake hands on the premise of mutual agreement to freeze. choosing the comfort of the formal intellectual ease. Clean, sharp logic.
The night is a canvas, painted in electric blue and crimson. Every step is cool, every breath is quiet. We begin the journey in the haze. The streetlights bleed into the damper night. A neon haze blurring the edges of what's wrong and what's right. My collar's up, my pace is slow. I'm watching the city pass, a silent, solitary figure reflected in the cold glass. I don't need company, I don't need a helping hand, just the anonymous freedom of this concrete land. The filtered synth is playing a melody just for me. A cool deep bass line, the sound of self-sufficiency. I keep my gaze level, avoiding the desperate eye. I'm a connoisseur of the surface, living under this sleek sky. The air is electric, but my heart is regulated and slow. The rhythm of the detachment, the only rhythm I know. Neon haze, blurring the lines, keeping the truth far away. I prefer the silhouette to the harsh light of the day. My voice is deep and smooth, reflecting the cool intent. This journey is solo, every moment strictly led. I'm walking the line of indifference, perfectly on cue. This late night apathy is beautifully true. Yeah. I see the couples laughing, the momentary foolish heat. They learn the cost of carrying on this unforgiving street. I wrap my solitude around me, a custom tailored suit, a necessary barrier, the inevitable clean loot of a life lived carefully, avoiding the frantic noise, choosing the quiet resonance over the temporary joy. Neon haze, blurring the lines, keeping the truth far away. I prefer the silhouette to the harsh light of the day. My voice is deep and smooth, reflecting the cool intent. This journey is solo, every moment strictly led. Now I'm walking the line of indifference, perfectly on cue. The city's pulse is loud, but I hear my own heartbeat clear. A quiet, steady rhythm that suppresses all the fear. I'm a shadow, not a target, a presence, not a need. Planting the seed of my own independent creed. I'm comfortable in this haze, perfectly unseen. The ghost of desire, cold and quietly keen. Just the haze, just the cool haze.
The neon's just a whisper now, no longer a blinding scream. A pale gold light is catching the dust in a quiet, fragile stream. It's 2 a.m., the hour of surrender, the moment the cool facade melts just enough to reveal the pressure, the cost of being hard. The anion scent is stretching the silence, pulling the air apart, exposing the small, persistent beat of my unruly heart. I watch my own breath fog the window, a temporary cloud. Every exhale small confession, too low to speak out loud. I told everyone I was fine, I convinced the entire scene. But the stillness knows the difference where I've truly been. The minimal beat is tapping a code, a truth I can't deny. That for a fraction of a second I miss the way we used to try. 2 a.m. confession, whisper into the void. The one raw sentiment I haven't yet destroyed. The indifference is a shield, but the hand that holds it tires. When the noise fades out, the single old ember refires. Just a flicker, a glitch in the program, a momentary slip, a truth that barely escapes the control of my silent lips. I trace the lines on the glass, thinking of the distance we made. A vast cold landscape in which all of my passion was laid. The control is exhausting, maintaining the flawless chill. It takes more energy to stand still than to finally feel. The sound of the city is distant, muffled by the deep. The world is sleeping, and maybe that's why my secrets creep. 2 a.m. confession, whispered into the void. The one raw sentiment I haven't yet destroyed. The indifference is a shield, but the hand that holds it tires. When the noise fades out, the single old ember refires. Just a flicker, a glitch in the program, a momentary slip, a truth that barely escapes the control of my silent lip. The truth is small, not dramatic, it won't crash the heavy beat. It's just the acknowledgement that the coldness isn't complete. I'm not broken, but I'm not whole. I'm just gently bent to controlled experiments on where the affection went. And maybe, just maybe, this little confession is the key to rebuild the structure, starting with honesty to me. 2 a.m. confession, whoa. 2 a.m. confession, whoa. 2 a.m. confession, 2 a.m. confession. Just a moment, just a flicker. Confession, just a moment, just a flicker. Confession.
The neon's a spotlight on the chalk outline we drew. You stand on your side, I stand on mine, keeping the view. But the air between us is heavy, a palpable static charge, ready to spark and ignite, making the tension large. It's all about the push and pull, the delicate slow dance. We both know the consequence, but we take the chance. No need to rush the moment, the tension is the key. Let it build in the space between you and me. I speak in whispers, let the bass drum do the rest. Testing your control, putting your coldness to the test. You think you're immune, you think you shut the feeling down, but this low frequency groove can still run through this town. The line we cross, it's not a fault, it's a feature. Just a cool, easy blur between the desire and the teacher. We don't need permanence, we need the thrill of the touch. Keeping it light, never giving away too much. This smooth R&B beat dictates the pace, slow and refined, leaving the complicated sentiments far behind. judgment is the same. We play the mirror game, never uttering the name. We discuss everything but the core, the silent central core, leaving the deep questions locked behind the polished door. We meet in the middle of the crowded room, perfectly discreet. Our history's irrelevant, the moment is complete. The line we cross, it's not a flaw, it's a feature, just a cool, easy blur between the design and the teacher. We don't need permanence, we need the thrill of the touch, keeping it light, never giving away too much. This smooth R&B beat dictates the pace, slow and refined, leaving the complicated sentiment far behind. Rule is simple, walk back alone when the music dies. No lingering gazes, no questions, no surprise signs. We enjoy the temporary madness, the beautiful contained flame, knowing that tomorrow we'll revert back to the sophisticated game. This is the only honest exchange the city permits us now. A brief electric meeting without taking a vow. The line we cross, it's not a fault, it's a feature, just a cool, easy blur between the desire and the teacher. We don't need permanence, we need the thrill of the touch, keeping it light, never giving away too much. This smooth R&B beat dictates the pace, slow and refined, leaving the complicated sentiments far behind. Oh. Just a moment, cross it.
The thermostat is set to the coldest degree, matching the internal forecast, finally free. No fluctuation, no sudden spike, just perfect steady low. I'm running a diagnostic, watching the feelings go. They try to overload the system, those cheap sweet lies, but the firewall is up, reflected in these dead eyes. I put the heavy weights on the chest where the heart used to reside. It's a necessary pressure, nothing left to hide. I am meticulously unbothered, a machine on its track. There's no reward in looking, there's no way to go back. I calculate the cost of care and the answer is too high. So I shut down the server, let the old connection die. Zero emotion, that's the only code I memorize. I'm a monochrome statue under the city skies. No input, no output, the circuit is completely closed. The chapter of vulnerability is forever deposed. Deep soul on the beat, but the lyrics are sterile and clean. I am the ultimate filter, I decide what it seems. They call it damage, I call it an upgrade, fully optimized. The old flawed operating system completely revised. I move through the crowd, silent, a ghost in a leather coat. Every gesture measured, every word stuck in my throat. I only deal in facts now, cause and effect, nothing vague. The distance is a sanctuary, escaping the emotional place. Zero emotion, that's the only code I memorize. I'm a monochrome statue under the city skies. No input, no output, the circuit is completely closed. The chapter of vulnerability is forever deposed. Deep soul on the beat, but the lyrics are sterile and clean. I am the ultimate filter, I decide what it seems. Listen to the bass line, heavy, slow and deep. That's the only pulse this cold machine wants to keep. I am the self-fulfilling prophecy of quiet might, turning the intensity of the day into the calm of the night. No more searching for warmth, accepting the inevitable freeze, finding my absolute comfort in the clinical ease. Zero emotion.